Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the Hot Toys figure of the Dark Knight Rises Selina Kyle. The artwork and layout of this shoebox style packaging is similar to the Hot Toys Bane packaging. Now, even though Selina Kyle never goes by Catwoman in the film, Hot Toys wants to remind you that this is a Catwoman figure. Now we'll take a look at the interior packaging art, because it does have a cool little piece of artwork in there with her little line from the movie The Storm is Coming. Now this figure comes with her mask and goggles, a gun, extra wrist pegs, 5 extra hands, and the figure stand. The original prototype photos featured a head where the mask was sculpted on, and then the final head sculpt features a mask that's removable. Some people, myself included, thought that the final head sculpt didn't look as much like Anne Hathaway as those initial prototype photos did. But holding this in person, there's no denying this looks like Anne Hathaway, and it's a pretty good likeness. I think the paint on this is pretty solid, especially around her eyelashes and her eyebrows in particular. Hot Toys has really been doing some really great work with eyebrow paint lately. I think her lips look good. I think the likeness is pretty solid. And one thing I like is the little painted hair edge to the forehead that kind of lines up with where the rooted hair meets. I think that's better than just leaving it a solid skin edge and just kind of ignoring that. I think it's a good, nice little touch. Alright, before we put the mask on, I just want to go over some of the accessories. She comes with relaxed palm hands on the figure, and then she comes with a right hand trigger finger, 2 fist hands, and 2 grip hands. I think these hands turned out pretty good. I think that the little Kevlar on top looks really cool. And she also comes with a gun. Like most Hot Toys guns, that part on the top recoils, and this comes with a little bullet and a clip. And then here's the mask itself, which has a little lifting hinge right here. So there's the mask. And it's got a little plug and hole in the back, so it is not adjustable. But this part does move, and that's pretty awesome. I'm going to try to hold back as much of her hair as I can. I've tried to avoid reading any details. All I know is that her mask is supposed to be kind of hard to put on, and it so far has proven to be kind of tight. I'm going to be perfectly honest here. I didn't think putting this mask on was that hard. All it required was a little bit of patience. You just had to kind of hold her hair down and then slowly guide the back of the mask over the back of her head. And just slowly do it a little bit at a time, and it only really took me about 30 seconds. I thought it was going to be much worse. My only complaint is that I couldn't get all of her hair to like tuck smoothly behind her ears, so I do get this kind of lumpy effect on the side. But overall, it turned out better than I thought. Now, here she is with the eyepiece up, and I think it's really cool that Hot Toys is able to achieve the goggles flipping up action. And I think the little details on the mask look pretty cool. All in all, I'd say it reads pretty screen accurate. Some people really wanted this head sculpt to have the mask removable, presumably because they want an Anne Hathaway head sculpt. But for me personally, if you're getting the figure of her in the cat suit, you probably want the mask on. I don't see why you needed to have the mask be removable, because every time she's in the cat suit in the film, she is wearing the mask. So I have no need for a Catwoman figure that is maskless. But if you want an Anne Hathaway head sculpt, you have it now. So I guess you can customize your own Princess Diaries figure or Love and Other Drugs figure. For a high-heeled figure, I'm really impressed that this figure can stand well on its own. Now, the quality of the cat suit here looks incredibly screen accurate. I don't know what the material is, but it looks great, and it certainly like hugs her figure in just the right way. The stitching along here all looks really good and really clean. I like this sort of faux leather material they got for her gloves, and I love that it bunches right here. Same thing with the boots. Her leather boots really do look like leather. My only complaint about them is that the left boot is shorter than the right boot. And I think it's because it bunches a bit here, and my figure out of the package has this really big kind of fold that I can't seem to undo. But aside from that unevenness, it looks pretty good. The belt looks great. Hot Toys did a really good job capturing the details of her heels. See, the bottom of her heels feature the little razor sharp edges, and I'm glad that they were able to sculpt and achieve those properly. Now, the figure stand comes with these little water droplet surfaces and this broken bat symbol. This is meant to evoke the Catwoman poster that was available, where she's stepping and breaking this little batarang symbol with her heel. Now, the symbol is considerably bigger than it is on the poster, but it is cool that you can recreate the poster and the raindrop surface. However, this surface is not ideal to stand a figure on. You'll need to use that bar that it comes with to stabilize the figure, because this on its own isn't great. But the figure stands pretty good on its own anyway, so you might not necessarily need the figure stand. Now let's talk articulation. There's pretty good arm articulation. Arms come up pretty good. They don't rotate so good because of the limitations of her cat suit. But I do like double jointed elbows. And this figure does have double jointed elbows. Also has double jointed knees, which I really appreciate. It's got decent leg extension, more than some other figures I've seen lately. It's got good like waist pivoting, especially at the stomach area. It's kind of soft and bendy. Good hip swivel. The head is pretty good. It bends right at the top neck joint. Has a decent range of motion. And you even have a little bit of flexibility in the ankles, which I like. And even with this flexibility, the ankles aren't too loose and the figure stands pretty good. So here's the figure on the Batpod. And here's a height comparison with the DX12 Batman figure. Now, I'm not big on rooted hair figures, but Hot Toys is doing their best to change my mind about that. And with Black Widow and Catwoman and Baby Doll, they're doing really good rooted hair work. And I think this figure turned out pretty good in that regard. And as far as the actual suit itself, it's really simple, but it's got a great shape to it. They did a really good job capturing Anne Hathaway's foxy figure. I think the face sculpt turned out a lot better than I was expecting, especially as far as photographs go. I think this is actually a really, really good face sculpt. I think overall, this is a really solid figure. I recommend it. And thanks for watching.
Mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it.